This video will present the user interface of Avizo 9. At launch, Avizo shows a welcome panel. This panel is divided into several areas. The Data panel gathers the data you have recently used and features an Open Data button to open a new dataset. The Project panel collects the most recently saved projects. Here again, there is a button to open a project not in the list. We'll come back to this panel in a few moments. The New section allows you to start a new blank project. On the bottom of the Control panel, you can find direct access to the Avizo help system and to different tutorials, to interesting news about Avizo, and to websites containing information about Avizo. Let's go back to the central panel and click on the Open Project button. A file selection dialog pops up. It allows you to select a project file that is a file with a .hx extension. In this example, we open the folder Tutorials and choose the project named Chocolate Bar Orthoslice. Let us now explore the Avizo Workspace. It is divided into several panels, the main one being the 3D view. On the left side, there are a series of specialized panels such as the Main panel and the Properties. These panels can be moved and positioned where it's most convenient, or they can be docked in the main window. They can also be hidden by clicking on the top right X or by using the window menu in the toolbar. If needed, you can revert to the default Avizo layout using the Preferences panel accessible in the top menu. For this tutorial, we will keep the Main panel and the Properties windows open. We can see a 3D visualization of an X-ray tomography scan of a chocolate bar in the 3D view and several colored modules in the Main panel window. Let us now concentrate on the 3D part and keep the Main panel for later. The 3D view comes with a button bar where we can find 4 groups. This tutorial will focus on the 2 first groups of buttons. The first button selects the Interact mode, transforming the mouse cursor into an arrow. In this mode, we are able to interact with objects in the 3D view. We can get information about the objects, such as the values and the 3D coordinates of the point which is below the cursor. We can also modify the objects. For example, here we have an orthogonal slice of the dataset. By clicking and dragging the slice with the left mouse button, we can move it in the 3D space. The second button selects the trackball viewing mode. The mouse cursor becomes a hand. By clicking and dragging with the left button, we can rotate the object in any direction. The third button selects the Translate viewing mode, in which a left button click and drag will pan the object. The Magnifying Glass button selects the Zoom viewing mode, in which a left button click and drag will zoom in and out. The mouse behavior we will use the most is the trackball viewing mode, where the mouse cursor looks like a hand. The next button rotates the view clockwise by 1 degree. The Control key changes the rotation direction, making it counterclockwise. The Shift key triggers a 90 degrees rotation. This can be combined with the Control key for a counterclockwise 90 degrees rotation. The Target button, called Seek, helps focus on a specific part of an object. When it is clicked, the mouse cursor is temporarily changed to a target. When clicking on a specific point on the object, the selected point becomes the new center of the scene. This point is also the new center of rotation for the trackball viewing mode. The next 2 buttons work together. One saves the camera point of view, while the other restores it. For example, we can save this camera position by clicking on the Set Home button. Then, after having rotated, moved, and zoomed out the camera, we can go back to the previous point of view just by clicking the Home button. Avizo provides shortcuts for an easier 3D experience. When in the trackball viewing mode, we can rotate the object using the left mouse button. A more direct way to pan the object is by clicking the middle mouse button to enter Translate mode instead of using the toolbar button. To zoom, there are three options: the magnifying glass button, the mouse wheel, or, here again, dragging the mouse up and down in trackball viewing mode, but this time using the left and middle mouse buttons simultaneously. For the Seek mode, we can press the S key instead of clicking on the button in the button bar. Let us now concentrate on the second group of buttons. This group has buttons to control the point of view. The first one is called View All. It adjusts the point of view so that the complete object is displayed in the 3D view. The next three buttons set the point of view along one of the three main axes. The first button, View XY, sets the view perpendicular to the Z-axis, showing the slice perpendicular to the screen. These buttons can be combined with the Shift key to align the view on the opposite side of the same axis. These buttons do not lock the view. The user is free to rotate the object again. By default, the visualization is set to use a perspective camera, which mimics how objects appear in the real world. Parallel lines in the scene converge in the distance, and far objects look smaller than close ones. Avizo provides a second mode, called orthographic, where parallel lines in the scene are always drawn parallel on the screen. The last button of this group is the camera mode button, which switches between the perspective mode, which is the default one, and the orthographic mode. Combining the orthographic mode and the axis aligned view buttons can be very useful in specific cases to have a 2D display. Using the rotation buttons with the Shift key and the axis button with or without the Shift key can set the view in the desired position. Let's now go back to the perspective view. These buttons also have their shortcuts. The spacebar is a shortcut to the View All button, while the X, Y, and Z keys are shortcuts to the main axis alignment. In summary, there are many convenient shortcuts in Avizo for 3D manipulation, allowing you to focus on your visualization and not on the toolbars. Left mouse button to rotate the object, left and middle mouse buttons together to zoom in and out, the middle button alone for lateral moves, and the space bar to make the entire scene visible in the window. Another shortcut to learn is the Escape key, which switches from viewing mode to interaction mode and back. When in interact mode, pressing the Alt key can also be useful for temporarily switching to navigation mode. This ends our presentation of the basic viewing interface in Avizo. We encourage you to practice and learn these shortcuts since their use can significantly improve your Avizo experience.